Order at 3:32, work session. Do I have a motion to, pledge of allegiance, please stand. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Mr. Mayor, can I suggest that the council move to amend the agenda to make it a work session and add the additional item?
That's right.
Do business for the regular session of rescheduling the public hearing for the supported public housing project.
When do they want to reschedule that?
We're gonna come up with dates, so that you just wanna put that on the agenda so that during regular session, the council can take action to schedule it.
So under new business?
I have
Yes.
that on the 28th meeting.
That you wanna move, they wanna move that too.
I know, but why are we changing it in this meeting and not the 28th meeting?
So that way we can publicly notify everybody in the newspaper and meet legal requirements, and also make sure it doesn't get pushed out 2 months.
Okay.
Yeah,
So it was, what was I did?
so it's rescheduling the public hearing for the council on the support of public housing under new business.
Just the rezone application.
Yeah, the rezone application, yep.
As item D? So then do we need to amend, do we also need to technically in this amend the executive session work session?
Yes.
Okay. So I'll make a motion to adopt the agenda with the amendment of eliminating work session and adding, executive session and adding work session. And then adding item D to new business, reschedule a public hearing, rezone application.
Motion made, do I hear a second?
Second.
Those in favor?
I
Those opposed? Okay.
Thank you. So we wanted to bring you guys into work session today to talk about the municipal effluent water provision agreement, which is just a fancy term for using sewer water from our sewer lagoons to provide cooling water to Red Rock. This agreement that you guys have in front of you, and actually you don't have the full thing, they're getting the rest of it. There's two pieces to it tonight. One is the main agreement itself, and the other is a sub-agreement that allows the agreement to be assigned if Red Rock is ever foreclosed on by its creditors. The creditor steps into the position of Red Rock. So if Red Rock failed and there was and basically the holder of the trustee took over, they have the right to keep operating, and as long as they keep paying us, we keep providing sewer water to them. So that is a normal requirement of any financed public project like this. So that's what the second component is. The agreement is based off of an agreement that Klamath Falls did for providing a similar cooling water setup to the geothermal power plant that's over there. And some of the major concerns that we had and some of the things we were working on with Red Rock is to make sure that we comply with our new what they call MPDES permit, which is a discharge permit, and Daryl can go into more details on that. And my understanding is that Red Rock, and that'll be the other item at 4 o'clock when we talking about why we're asking you guys to authorize the sale of land to Red Rock. Red Rock, there'll be some additional contamination in the cooling water process, and they have to treat that water back down to 200 parts per million biological contaminant and solid standard. So those are some of the things that we've addressed in this municipal effluent service agreement. It's a 25-year agreement. The rate that's been, now the town is planning on taking out about a $1.6 million roughly loan, an IFA loan, to fund the extension of our sewer. Because basically this is going to be very similar to like a geothermal line, except, obviously no heat. So basically we're going to be doing an extension from the sewer ponds, a closed loop system that'll go in, sewer water will go out of the ponds, hit their system, there'll be some loss for evaporation, and then it'll come back into our ponds. So we're not actually using potable water. And this particular agreement has a rate structure set up, that we negotiated with Red Rock on behalf of the town, where it may be a 25-year loan for IFA, Red Rock is paying it back in 10, which is the same schedule they're on for paying back their bondholders for the rest of the project.
And that is in here in 10 years?
That's the payment schedule that's in there.
So they're paying back 1.6 million.
In 10 years,
The
yes.
entire-
And then there is
the
also,
entire
so there, yeah, exactly. So there is a, what they call a cost component and a fee component. The fee component is based on what it's gonna be our admin costs and stuff for running this, and then the cost component is paying for the equipment and stuff itself. So that will get retired in 10 years and the cost component will fall off once that is paid back. So that is how that was set up, because like I said, we were not going to obligate the town for 25 years when they are paying everything else off in 10 years. So once, and again, they have a lot of motivation to keep operational for the next 10 years, because otherwise there's going to be a lot of their security called. Now, one other thing that I would throw out there is that if Red Rock does fail, most likely a creditor would step in and keep operating it, because they want to get their money out of it, or at least sell it when they foreclose. If they sell it for scrap, they'll get pennies on the dollar. So most likely a creditor would step in, the bondholders would step in and operate the thing, and then try to sell it to another operator if they ever had to foreclose it. So it would likely keep operating. They still keep owing what's under this. But like I said, if things ever go completely bankrupt, there is no other security. There are plenty of people ahead in line on their assets before us, because the state would not have loaned money for the project otherwise. So the other suggestion I'm gonna make for you guys later on is when Red Rock starts paying its community service fee once they're operational, that for the next 5 years, you guys segregate that into an account, which would actually cover the 1.6 million. And then once Red Rock once you kind of have that there, then you can start spending that money as Red Rock by that point will have paid 50% of it down. And then you can start reducing that reserve, but that way we're fully protected, because you guys remember what the community service fee was roughly, Michelle, that Red Rock's gonna be paying us?
219.
Yeah, 219, so every year we're getting $219,000 in lieu of property taxes, so that would be a good reserve
3%.
escalation, yep. So that's how this is kind of set up. We're making sure that we are not violating our NPDES permit. In fact, that permit, once we have the final draft of it, will be incorporated directly by reference. So they'll have to meet all of those requirements, so they can't discharge water. We have currently set up the amount of water to be discharged that we believe the current system can handle, and that Jeff and Daryl have both reviewed that. So this seems to be, and like I said, there's been a lot of back and forth with this, but it seems to be a fair agreement between both parties. So if you guys have any questions in general for myself, Daryl, or Jeff on this?
Is this like paid monthly or quarterly or?
Annually.
Annually, okay.
Fiscal year. And it would be prorated for the first year, because obviously they're not gonna have been in operation for all of fiscal year 2020, 2021. So we did it on the same thing, so the town knows what it's budgeting for, kept it on a fiscal year basis.
So, we're gonna have time to review this, I assume. There's no decisions today for this, since we just got this.
It is set up for decision this afternoon, currently.
Wow,
You guys could, if you wanted to, move this.
Email.
this wasn't contract.
We should have had this sooner.
Yeah, there's a lot of details in here we need to